A famous songwriter named Harlan Howard once said, "All you need is 3 chords and the truth." In this video, I want to share with you a perfect example of this. It's a song June Carter wrote about her haunting love for Johnny Cash while he was still married. Now, it was actually first recorded by June's sister, Anita Carter, in more of a traditional country style. You see, there's this type of guitar playing known as Carter style, where you play the melody on the lower strings. Here's an example of it. It's got a really cool sound, and it comes from a banjo style of playing. So in this video, I want to show you how to play Ring of Fire in this Carter style. Now, if you want to play it with a pick, I'm using it just with no pick, bare fingers here. You can take everything that I'm going to show you in this lesson and still play it with a pick as well. So whichever way you want to do it that you're comfortable with is fine. I just think this sounds really close more to the original roots of this song. So let's get started. We're going to begin with that melody, which starts off, you know, this is the Johnny Cash version, right? Where you had those mariachi style horns playing that riff. But we're gonna do the riff, like I said, below the chords. So it's gonna sound like this. So if you wanted to play your own cover version, this would be a great just way to accompany yourself. We're going to begin on the 2nd fret of the 5th string and walk up 2, 3, 4, and then we'll play the open 4th string. Okay, so we've got this, right? That's the melody in there, but we're going to combine it with the chords. So we'll start 2, 3, 4, open, and then we're going to begin strumming. Okay, so we're going to play that 4th string, and I'm going to strum. This is part of a G chord here, but we're just going to use one finger. Just put I use my pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And that's the top part of this G chord, just the top strings, okay? So we're going to play the open 4th string, strum, open 4th string, strum. And that's going to be the main groove, by the way, just like bass strum, bass strum, bass strum, bass strum. Those are 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that can go through, you know, the whole song. That's sort of the driving motor. Now I am gonna spice it up a little bit. I'll show you how you can do that, but let's just start with the 1 and 2 and. Then on beat 3, we're gonna go and play the 2nd fret on the 4th string, 3rd fret on the 5th string, back to that open 4th string. So again, we got that da, 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 da. That's the melody. So da, 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 da. Okay, then I add the G bass note here with my 3rd finger of the 6th string there on the 3rd fret, and just go bass strum, bass strum, bass strum, bass strum, right? That's the 8th note groove. So it's gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now another interesting point here is that there is a 3-4 measure mixed with a 4-4 measure. So there's a lot of different ways you can count this, and you may see it written differently on a bunch of different sheet music, but as long as the beats add up, then you're going to be okay. And this is a sort of song where you just sort of play the riff. You have it in your head like da 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 da, and you don't really realize that it's kind of complicated, right? We have a measure of 3 and then a measure of 4. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, pick up, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the first part, and if you've struggled to play in this style without a pick, then go to johnmclennan.com/fingerstylejumpstart and get your hands on my free fingerstyle PDF guide. This is going to show you 5 exercises for your finger picking hand just to get it grooving like a well-oiled machine, and then you can play so many songs without a pick. It's just nice to not be like, hey, do you have a pick? You know, you can just play with your fingers. So go to johnmclennan.com/fingerstylejumpstart and grab that now as my gift to you. So after this measure of G, where we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, then we go back to another measure of 3, 4 and play. measure of 4, 4. So it alternates. It's actually a measure of 3 and then a measure of 4, then a measure of 3 and then a measure of 4. So the second half goes. Now what I'm doing there is I'm playing that G chord, but I'm playing the melody note B on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. We're going to play bass note, strum, bass note, strum, and then 3, 0 on the 5th string. Now I say bass note, but it's really the melody, right? The bass is playing the melody. And that's what's so cool about this Carter style. Because so many times, we play the melody on top and then the chord below, but this is actually flipped. And these are things that I talk a lot about, like in my program, Essential Fingerstyle Guitar System. I have a lot of lessons on this Carter style. So, second part. Then you play the 2nd fret on the 5th string, strum, and then bass note on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, strum, bass note, strum, bass note, strum. So that's the whole intro. So here's what it sounds like all together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So like I said, that groove just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can keep that going through the entire song, but sometimes I'll add a little extra strum in there. So instead of like, I'll go and do a down up there. So I just mix that in instead of just like boom, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chicka, boom, chick, boom, chicka, boom, chick. So you hear that little extra strum in there. 1 and a 2 and 3 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and it's completely random. It's something that I just do as a feel. So like I said, you could play the basic 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you want to spice it up, 1 and a 2 and 3 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and you could just mix that in, like sort of like pepper it in like seasoning. All right, at this point we get to the verse, and this is where Johnny Cash comes in singing. We're gonna play Love is a burning thing. All right, so what's going on here is we're playing part of the melody, or Johnny Cash is singing the melody, and then the instrumental answers with the riff. So we're gonna start on a G, and we're gonna play the bass note and then a strum for 3 beats, 1 and 2 and then on beat 4, 3 and we're gonna switch to a C, and then we're gonna go to the riff. Remember this da 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 da, so da 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 da. So we just drop that into the verse. So it's like love is a burning thing, da 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 da. Okay, then we have the second half, which goes, and it makes a fiery ring. And we answer with the second part of the riff, okay? So what I did here was I played G for 3 beats, 1 and 2 and 3, and then on the 4th beat, this time I go to D, then I go to G with that B in the bass, that 2nd fret melody, and tie in the first part of the intro. So it goes, and it makes a fiery ring. Okay, so far we've got love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. All right, you're halfway through the verse. Let's keep going. Here's the second part. Bound by a wild desire. Okay, so that's the same as the first part of the verse. You do G, then C, then riff. And then we finish the verse with a quick little 3/4 bar. I fell into a ring of fire. And then do a walking bass line into the I fell into burning, the chorus, okay? So the second part here is G, 2, and then quick change to D, and then back to G. Okay, so that's a 2/4 bar. We're gonna go 1 and 2, or sorry, a 3/4 bar rather. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we play F sharp on the 2nd fret of the low E to the open 6th string. So here's the second half. Bound by a wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. All right, let's put it all together. Here's the entire verse played as one piece. We're gonna mix in the chords with the riff in between. Here we go. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Second half. Bound, wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. All right, at this point we get to the chorus. Now, I just want to make a note here. We've really only used 3 chords in this song, and that's back to what I said at the beginning of this video, 3 chords in the truth. But surprisingly, a lot of people play the wrong chords on this song. They mix up where a C should go or a D should go, and so you want to take some time and really work on this tune to make sure it sounds right. Now in the chorus, it actually I think gets a little bit easier. We're gonna go D, 2, 3, 4, C, then G, D, 2. That repeats over 2 times. Okay, so it's a measure of D, and then a split bar, 2 beats on C, 2 beats on G. Now for this, with the strum hand, I'm gonna keep that basic pattern, just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and play the bass note, 4th string open, and then strum the chord. 1 and 2 and 4, and then go to C, G. Now on C, I play the 5th string, then strum twice, then the 6th string, then strum twice. So it's I fell into a burning ring of fire, went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and we stay on G. Quick D back to G, D then G. Okay, so this last little part of the chorus here has some more tricky counting. We're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a full measure there. Then we have a 2/4 bar where we go 1 and then on beat 2 switch to D and then go back to G, and then we're in 4/4 again. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then on beat 4 in the next measure here, D back to G. Okay, so it's burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of attaching the lyrics to the chord changes, but this is tricky and it can help you, but you also got to be careful because if your singer screws up the words, then what are you going to do? So you want to know both. You want to know how to count it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, right, like that. You can also go with the word ring where the chord goes to G. So it's burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Okay? Then at this point we go and start back over with the intro. So I'm gonna put this entire chorus section together, and once you get this part down, you basically have all the pieces of the song. So you have the riff, you have the verse section, which mixes in that riff into the verse section, then you have the chorus section, which sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I fell into a burning ring of fire, went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. back into the mariachi riff. All right, the only other part you need to know is how the song ends, and that's called a tag. So we have that burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Now instead of going to that, we go and it burns, burns, burns. We just repeat the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Okay, and then after that, we just repeat the measure of G and D, where we have 3 beats on G, and then 1 beat on D, then back to G. So it's like the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire. It just fades out there. The ring of fire. If I was ending, I would just go the ring of fire and end on G. So there you have it. That's a breakdown of how to play Ring of Fire as recorded by Johnny Cash in this cool Carter style. And if you've struggled to play this way without a pick, then go to johnmclennan.com/fingerstylejumpstart and get your hands on my free fingerstyle PDF guide. This is going to show you 5 powerful exercises to get your fingerpicking hand grooving like a well-oiled machine, and it's completely free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fingerstylejumpstart and grab that now as my gift to you. As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, you might like this one next.